Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Zara. I create content all around fitness, lifestyle, bodybuilding, and just health and wellness. So thank you for being here. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how to get back on track for 2025. Now, I've just arrived back from my trip to see my family. My family live in Australia. I live in America, so I got back yesterday. Hi, good morning. You know how it is post-travel, you feel a little bit in a shambles. Obviously it was the holidays, so I was enjoying all the foods, and I also got sick. You can still sort of hear it in my voice when I got to Australia. So I literally trained twice when I was in Australia, and I was there for a week, which is so unheard of for me. So definitely time to get back on track, especially as it is currently the 27th of December and the new year is next freaking week. So I want to take you with me, show you exactly what I do to get back on track post-Christmas, post-holidays, but also for getting ready for the new year. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do and you want to support, make sure to subscribe, as I'll be bringing out more content just like this throughout this year. So right now, as you saw me make, I made my bone broth hot chocolate. Now I ran out of bone broth, so I used chicken broth. It's not as good for you. Like, the benefits are still there from like a digestion point of view, but bone broth is going to be, it's just processed a lot longer, and it's going to just have a lot more, it's going to be a lot more nutrient dense. So I need to pick up some of that, but it's just like the perfect thing, because then I'm not starting my day with caffeine, but I still get to start my day with like a warm drink. So I think it's important that coming into getting back on track, that we have the right mindset around it, right? So I'm not getting back on track because I'm upset that I overate over Christmas or from like a negative place. I'm simply getting back on track. And I don't really love using the term on track, because it kind of shows that there's an on and off track, which I don't think there is. I like to look at health and fitness as a dial. Like, sometimes the dial's at 100, sometimes the dial's turned down to 60. But I do really also believe that we can set ourselves up for success within our health and our wellness routines and our journey. So I want to sort of share that, but I want to make sure that we're going into it with, you know, if you're a beginner to this, don't go balls to the wall and go tracking your macros, training 5 times a week, and like changing everything all at once. I'm doing a whole other episode, podcast episode around this, so I would just wait until my all or nothing my episode comes out. But I just wanted to reiterate that, like, you know, if you're new, I've been in health and fitness for 6 years now. If you're not at that point yet, pick one thing from this video that you implement into your routine or into setting up for the year, and then build it up from there. And just remember, this time of year, don't be down if you miss a day or if you don't show up 100% one day, and don't allow that to derail you. That's where a lot of people go wrong with their New Year's goals. Oh my God, there's hot chocolate everywhere. That's where a lot of people derail their New Year's goals, is they think if they can't do it perfectly, then what's the point at all? That's not what health and fitness is about. It's just about consistency and showing up your best every single day. I always say to my clients, show up your 100% every single day, whatever your 100% looks like that day. Your 100% could look different every day, depending on the day. So that's a little bit of a mindset, quick chat. What I am going to do is I'm going to order some groceries. So I don't have my car on me because it's still at my parents' house, but I was like, let me use Instacart. Now, a big thing with nutrition and staying on track with your nutrition, if you track your macros, which you don't have to, but like if you're in a season of tracking, which I am, I pre-tracked, or I haven't necessarily pre-tracked my meals, but I planned out what I'm going to be eating. So for my meals coming into this next week, and meal planning is so important, regardless of if you have a weight loss goal, muscle gaining, whatever your goal is. I think even if you're not even on your health and fitness journey, it's going to help with not overbuying on groceries. It's going to take away some decision fatigue. You know, there's just a really good benefit to it. So I'm going to have, for breakfast, avocado toast with eggs and also banana and kiwi. For lunch, I'm going to have, I think I'm going to have chicken, and I'm going to make lemon butter dressing, like lemon butter marinade, I guess, with rice and asparagus. And then for dinner, I'm going to have steak with mashed potatoes and roasted carrot. And then if I have extra macros around that, then I'll figure that out then. So knowing that that is what I'm going to be eating, I can order my groceries based off that. And I'm not going to be overbuying groceries, and I don't have to think throughout my week about what am I going to be eating for lunch, because during the days, like, I'm so busy with work, like, my brain needs to be switched on for work, not switched on for what am I going to eat for lunch today. And if you're tracking your macros, this is a good opportunity to pre-track your food, so you're not going throughout your days thinking, why haven't I hit my protein? Am I going to be hitting my calories? If you pre-track it a day in advance or for the week, it's going to make things so much easier. So I know what I'm going to be getting, so I'm going to go to Instacart. I really like to get my groceries from Aldi. They have really good products in terms of like how clean they are, and it's also really affordable, and I'm on that budget right now. So, okay, so I'm just about to place my Aldi order, and it's gonna come right to my door, which is fabulous. So we've got chicken breast, asparagus, lemon juice, Italian loaf, avocados, bananas, green kiwi, and eye of round steak. And that's gonna come to $40, which is so good. So I'm just going to, let me know if you can relate to this. I'm someone who doesn't really keep a lot of money in their checking account, and will keep it in savings and then we'll transfer it as I need it. I just get scared that like somehow someone's going to get my money. It's so bizarre. Anyway. And then I just did an order at Kroger as well, because Aldi sometimes doesn't have everything. And from Kroger I got sugar-free caramel syrup for my coffee. I know it's not the best, and look, I've tried doing the honey in my coffee and like it does not hit the same. I've got A2 milk, 2% reduced fat milk. I've been seeing that A2 milk is really good for you, so I used to be, it's so funny how like trends go, like I'm no better than anyone else, like I do fall for the trends as well, but like, you know, it was non-dairy milks, avoid dairy, dairy's bad, and now everyone's like pro-dairy, dairy's so good for you. So I'm gonna try the A2 milk, and then I also got some beef bone broth to put in my hot Chockies. So that's everything, and they are gonna be coming around midday, so that's convenient for me, so I can have some lunch. But other than that, I'm going to get started on my work day. I just want to do a quick little introduction and show you that there is no excuse to not get your groceries done. It's going to save you money, even though I ordered these. And yes, going into store would be a little bit more cheaper. I think I tipped like $2 or whatever came up, and then delivery was $2.99. Which honestly, if you are strapped for time and you say you don't have time to go grocery shopping, to eat healthy, I'm sure you can spare $3 on an Instacart order. And if you're not in America and you're in Australia, I did the same thing, but I used Uber Eats, which might be a little bit more expensive, but it's just sometimes you gotta just decide which one, you know? But like, there is no reason to not have time. If you wanna save time, just order the groceries to your house. Easy peasy. I wanted to do a little grocery haul of sort of my go-to things I like to grab, just so you can maybe use it for inspiration for your grocery shop this week, for getting back on track for the new year, for post-holiday celebrations. So a big thing and focus for me this year is I'm steering away from only focusing on calories, which is important. You need to make sure you're not overeating on your calories. I still do track my calories, but more so putting a big emphasis on the ingredients, not just getting something because it's low calorie when the ingredients list is 100 ingredients long. I really want to try and have things that are less ingredients, minimal seed oils, and quite clean, because that's what our bodies are meant to be eating. So I'm going to run you through a basic sort of overview of what I like to get, starting off with this yogurt. You've seen me eat this in previous videos before. It's the Oikos 000 yogurt. It's really, really tasty. Looking at the ingredients, they're actually quite clean and don't contain any seed oils as well. So really good product there. I've next got pure maple syrup. Out with the zero sugar maple syrup. I know it's delicious. I know it's great for macros, and honestly, I would use it if maybe I was in a competition prep, but I'm not. So I want the real thing. This is literally the single ingredient is maple syrup. Getting the real shit. We've got bone broth, which I use in my bone broth hot chocolate every morning. It's really great for your gut health. And it has a ton of other benefits from like recovery and energy and all that as well. I've then got 2% milk. I would get full cream milk, but again, like, yes, I'm focusing less on calories, more on ingredients, but at the same time, I still track my calories. So sometimes the full milk, whole milk, is just a little bit too calorically dense for what I like. This is, again, really good ingredients in this one. It's 2% fat, so Milk, I'm kind of, yeah, again, going away from the almond milks and stuff, because the only reason I would have like almond milk, sugar, you know, the unsweetened almond milk was because it was like 30 calories per cup. But I want to steer away from just focusing on that alone. Next, we've got some rice cakes. Again, really good ingredients. Literally the only ingredient is whole grain brown rice and salt. But if you get the flavored ones, they will have extra like junk in them, so I avoid that. And I just sweeten it with honey, honestly. Then I've got the Dave's Killer bread. Normally I like to get sourdough bread, or Aldi have this really good Italian loaf that's really like good ingredients and really tasty and really great calories. But that's they didn't have it when I was shopping, so I just got this white bread done right, which Dave's Killer is really good for ingredients overall. I don't think it definitely has a bigger list of ingredients, but they're not too bad in comparison to sourdough, which obviously has minimal, which I prefer, and I prefer the taste of, but that's okay. In terms of veggies, I love, oh my god, the wrapper. I love asparagus. It's so easy to cook up. I've been cooking it in some oil over the pan. You can air fry it, you can roast it, you can do anything with asparagus. I also got avocados as well. I love avocados for a healthy fat source. I then got some Brussels sprouts because my boyfriend and I have been having Brussels sprouts with a little bit of olive oil and Parmesan cheese. And I don't get like the already grated Parmesan cheese. I get like a block of it and do it myself because a block of it's going to be a lot better than the already processed stuff. So good. So I've been having that. You roast it in the oven or you can air fry it. It's delicious. I then got some pure butter. None of that margarine crap. None of that spreadable stuff. This is literally just pure butter ingredients, pasteurized cream and salt. Literally it. And then we've also got kiwi fruit, which is so delicious. I actually, when I did my order from Aldi, I did order bananas, and I thought it was like you pay for, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought it was you pay for one banana. So I ordered 3 bananas. No, I ordered 3 bunches of bananas, so silly me. And they came to me brown as shit, pun intended, and they were like at the bottom of the grocery bag. Like, who does that? So I had to throw them away, which was such a shame. Luckily, bananas are quite cheap in the States compared to Australia, but still, like, it's still a waste. But kiwi fruit have been a really good go-to lately for me. And we've got honey. In here we've got just raw honey. Again, ingredients, honey. It's really good for you. One for raw honey as well. Apparently it's more nutrient dense. I'm not sure if it makes that big of a difference, but that's the one we go for. I also get chicken breast, which I don't have with me here because I've already cooked it up. And I've got steak. I like to get this eye of round steak from Aldi. It's quite lean and pretty good portions as well. You get sort of 3 portions. And then lastly, I've been loving having eggs. I've been swapping to having more eggs lately instead of just egg whites. I'll have just egg whites when I need, but if you've watched this channel for a while, you know that I love my egg whites because obviously they're low calorie. It was great in comp prep, but now that I'm out of comp prep, you know, egg whites, they're great, and they're great protein, low calorie, but they're not going to be very nutrient dense in comparison to a whole egg. So that's an overview of my groceries for the week and what I've sort of been having. So I hope that gives you a bit of inspiration for some clean food ideas that you can have. And the biggest thing is just when getting ready for the year, and not just for the start of the year, but continuously, is to make sure that you are prepared. Because if you are not prepared, you don't do your grocery shop, you don't do your meal prep, you're going to get caught out in situations where you may make a decision that doesn't really align with your goals. So I really like to plan out my meals for the week. I like to meal prep. I like to have my groceries organized for the week so that everything is done and I don't need to stress about it. I don't need to think about what am I eating this week? Am I sticking to my goals? Like, I like to make it so health and fitness runs on autopilot and it's easy for me. So I hope this gives you some inspiration for your nutrition and for some food ideas for coming into the new year.
Are you fucking me right now?
Let's give him a kiss on the... Oh! He knocked me out. So I'm just getting ready for the gym now, and one of the tips that I would recommend when getting back into your fitness routine post holidays or getting ready for the new year is to make sure that you have a routine when it comes to going to the gym. Like, you can't just go to the gym and just wing it, because it's not going to be motivating. You're not going to have a plan. You're probably going to feel more anxious than you need to in the gym, as opposed to when you have a structured program to follow. You're also going to obviously get better results when you're applying progressive overload. And look, like, it doesn't just have to be weight training. Maybe it's going to a gym class and following a plan there, but there needs to be a plan. There needs to be set days that you're going, a set amount of days that you're going per week, and just some structure in place. Otherwise, if you just wing it, there's going to be days where you're like, oh, do I feel like going? Do I not feel like going? And it can be easy to just sort of give in to those thoughts of like, I'm just not going to go to the gym today. I always like to have a workout plan that I follow. So I'm going to actually take you guys through my upper body workout today. I'm training shoulders and back, but I like to follow 3 days of legs, 1 day of shoulders and back. That's my current split to work towards my current goals, as well as a step target as well. So that's what I like to have. And look, if you need any help with programming, you're not sure what to do with training, nutrition, especially coming into 2025, we do offer one-on-one coaching through our metabolic breakthrough method. I always leave all the details down below if you're all interested, or if you want like a once-off training program or something, you can leave that down below as well. But it is really motivating and really important to have like the accountability and the structure of a workout plan, because it's going to make it less likely for you to drop off. And at the end of the day, no one gets anywhere by winging it. There needs to be a plan, there needs to be structure. So, and this doesn't have to be something I, again, wouldn't recommend is going like 0 to 100, right? Don't go from like not working out ever in your life to doing 6 days a week. Start small, start from like, 3 full body days a week, and really focus on form and technique, and then build up from there. So just make sure that you have a plan when getting into the gym, and you're not just winging it coming into the new year. And this goes for any of the goals you have for this year. A lot of us, where we go wrong is we set these goals of like, I want to lose weight, I want to make X amount, I want to travel to this country, but then we lack the plan to get there. So that's why having a plan, having a routine is really important. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. Is my next tip on how to get back on track for 2025. And if you need any help with that, we can help you out. All the information is in the link below, in the description below. But yes, I'm going to take you through my upper body day today, so enjoy. First of all, how good are these heatless curls? They're a little bit ringletty, but they will drop throughout the day. Oh, we've got 5 minutes on the storage, so let's clear that, and then let's talk about the topic I want to talk about. All right, I'm just getting ready for the day, but I want to talk about consistency, especially as we are coming into the new year, and a lot of us have goals that we want to hit, and as we all know, consistency is king. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong, is they try and be perfect rather than consistent. And I always, one of my favorite quotes is, you'd rather be consistently good than occasionally great. because consistently good is going to get you a lot further than just being occasionally great. So I want to talk about my top tips for consistency, because take it from me, when I started my fitness journey, I was the worst with consistency. I would be all in or nothing. That would basically describe my journey. I would start a new diet or a program and I'd be like, all right, this is it. This is going to be the time. Then I actually stick to it, and I might stick to it for about 3 weeks, and then like something comes up, I get sick, or there's a birthday, and then I allow myself to fall off track, and then I think, well, I've already screwed up. I'm just going to keep indulging and enjoy myself from here. But this is far from what you need to do. This is where we're really good for a little bit amount of time. We drop off, and then we don't get back on track for 3 months until we feel shit about ourselves again and we get back on track. But we're breaking that cycle this year. One of the first and best ways that I gained consistency was from accountability. I got myself a coach, an online coach, and that was the first time I had ever stuck consistently to anything. A lot of the time, we know what we need to do. Like, don't eat like an asshole. Eat a little bit less, move a little bit more. Like, it's pretty simple. Like, we know that eating KFC for dinner every night is not going to help us lose weight. Like, we're not silly here. Getting a coach helped me stay consistent because I had someone I had to be accountable to. You know, there's different ways of being accountable to, like, that isn't an individual. You could do a habit tracker. You could be accountable with a friend or your mom or your partner. But I think at the end of the day, the relationship you have with your partner or family is going to be a little bit different to one of a coach, a family member. They want you to feel happy. They want you to feel comfortable. They don't want to push you in moments where you need to be pushed. So that's where having a coach and a professional can really come in handy, because not only do you sort of have this feeling of like, oh, I don't want to let them down, which does help, even though I always say to my clients, you're never gonna let us down, like that's not a thing, but it does help. But also, like, when you have a hard moment, you have someone to turn to who's been there before you, who knows how to overcome the challenges that you're overcoming and is gonna help you collapse time. That's the thing with getting a coach, is they might have all the tools that you already know, or they might, whatever, but they've been through it all. You know what I mean? Like, they've been through the journey and they've made the mistakes and they've learned from them. So they're going to help you not make those same mistakes or be able to overcome them a lot faster than what they did, which is going to help get you to your goal so much faster. But not only that, the accountability, like checking in once a week, you know that, okay, like if I went off plan, I'm going to have to tell my coach about it. Like, so this was something that really helped me at the start of my journey actually stay consistent, because within that I had to track everything. Like, what gets measured gets results. There was no lying. I had to show up and do the work. And then also when I was financially committed, which, guys, when I got my first coach, I was making, I'm just gonna move my mirror. I was literally making $200 a week from my retail job, and my coach was, I think, $60 a week, which was quite expensive back in the day. So I chose to invest, and it changed my life. You know what? Like, even though it is fitness coaching, yes, it changed my life in terms of fitness, but it also changed my life in terms of the money I was making. Like, I invested in myself, and basically it took almost half of my money. But in turn, the skills I learned from health and fitness came back in other areas of my life, such as my work life, my professional life, my business, that I was able to create more of an income. So I literally got my money back anyway. Like, it gives you so many skills that will help you in all areas of your life. And at the end of the day, I'll attach a photo, but Tony Robbins has this like pyramid hierarchy thing, and at the bottom and at the foundation is your health. Without your health, you have nothing. Without your health, you won't be able to have thriving family life. Without your health, you won't be able to perform well at work or in your studies. Without your health, you won't be able to pour as much into your spirituality. Like, health is really at the forefront of everything. Without your health, you're not going to live as long as you might like to. So it's really important that we place a really big emphasis on our health. And that's what I say to all my clients is, I'm going on a tangent here, but health is really like the foundation for everything else. So that's why it's really important to obviously prioritize and invest in your health. But another thing that obviously helps with consistency is not focusing on just your outcome goals alone, but focusing on your input goals. So an output goal is what the outcome is. So losing 10 kilos, fitting into size 8 clothing, whatever your goal is. So that is the outcome, winning first in my bodybuilding show. The input goals are the mini goals that are going to help get you there. I'm doing a whole podcast episode on this, so if you haven't gone to my podcast, go to my podcast. Input goals are things like do 10,000 steps a day, hit my macros, go to the gym, weight train, cardio, whatever your input goals are. Obviously, they're going to be different for everyone. But when I put a focus on my input goals, it allowed me to stay more consistent, because the goal for the week wasn't I want to lose 1 kilo this week. It was I want to get to the gym 5 times this week. And that was the goal that I was aiming for. And that allowed me to stay a lot more consistent, because instead of just focusing on I want to lose X amount of weight, it was I want to hit these habits, and I would habit track. And that in turn would get me to where I want to be. And I was more so focused on the habits and the lifestyle as opposed to trying to lose weight. Because trust me, like, how many times have you gone on your journey just to like lose weight, and that's all you've been focusing on is seeing the scale go down? And how many times has it really been successful? Probably not too many. So I would focus on my input goals, and I would do so, and I still do so, by doing habit tracking. So I have a certain amount of habits. I'll write down my monthly goals. I'll create habits based on my monthly goals. And every single morning, I will tick off the habits that I did for the previous day just to stay accountable to them. And I always say to my clients, with habit tracking, with hitting your nutrition, your training, you should always aim to do it all at about an 80% compliance. I forget where I heard it. It was on a podcast, but they said if you hit your input goals at an 80% completion rate, you will reach your goal. Obviously, if you hit it at 100%, you'll hit it faster, but also what's the cost of that? That's sort of where we fall into the all or nothing mindset, because we don't live in a perfect world. You're not going to be able to hit everything perfect 100% of the time, but habit tracking has been a game changer for keeping me consistent and focusing on those input goals, which in turn have allowed me to reach my outcome goals with ease. I think another thing for consistency, the last thing I want to touch on, is community and the people that you surround yourself with. When I started my journey, I was fresh out of high school. It was the year of everyone turning 18. No one was really focused on this health and fitness thing, which made it quite hard to stay consistent when there was an 18th birthday every second week. Everyone wanted to go clubbing, and that was my environment. Whereas over the years, I've sort of shifted my circle to be more people who are focused on their goals and health and fitness. And when you're surrounded by that, it makes it more likely for you to show up for your goals. And that's why within ZZ Fit in our program, we place a really big emphasis on community, because at the end of the day, you are who you surround yourself with. Put yourselves in rooms of people that you aspire to be like, not people that you just like. I think that's really, really important for our growth, and it helps stretch you as an individual. But that's why, yeah, like I said, we place such a big emphasis on community within my program, because I didn't have that. I didn't have that when I started my journey. I had a few people that I, eventually started creating relationships with, and I started veering away from my like typical high school friendships. And that's probably one of the other ways to keep consistent and make consistency easier. So to recap, get some form of accountability. I would recommend a coach, but if a coach isn't within your means right now, that's okay. Then I would say find a community. Find a community of people in your area that are focusing on the same things. Don't be afraid to go up to a girl at the gym and speak to them and say hi, or compliment them on their body like that. And then also focus on habit tracking and your input goals rather than the outcome goals. And you'll find that'll be a lot easier to stay consistent. So that's my tips for consistency coming into the new year. The next thing I wanted to talk about was how to build a routine. I love routines. I love watching routines, morning routines, evening routines, all the routines. But I think routine is so important because it allows us to create the habits that we need to put in place for our goals. So I want to show you sort of what I do in terms of routines. I'm a bit crazy about it, but I got this planner for Christmas. My boyfriend got it for me. And this is mainly where I like to put my work-related things, but also I keep my normal routines in here as well. So the first routines I have are these are my daily rituals, and I have my morning routine, my evening routine, my workday startup, and workday shutdown. I'm not going to focus too much on the work-related things, but more so your morning and evening routine, because it just creates those habits. It makes it so you're a lot more proactive rather than reactive. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong within our days and weeks, is that we wake up to our alarm, we snooze the alarm, we wake up and then we're in a rush, and then we're drinking our coffee first thing in the morning, and we're rushing to make breakfast, we're eating something quickly, probably sugary, just so we can get something in quick, and then we're rushing to work, and then we're in this like sort of frantic state without even realizing. And then when you're in that state for the rest of the day and you're in that fight or flight, you're gonna be a lot more susceptible to sort of acting on impulse and making decisions that don't align with you or your goals. You know, that's when your mind and your body aren't connected. Your body just grabs for the chocolate when you're like, wait, I didn't even want that chocolate. So that's where we can go wrong, and that's why having a routine is so important, especially a morning routine, right? Now, another thing to touch on with routines is when it comes to getting back on track is having a routine with your nutrition and your training and all of that. So you need to have a plan and I've spoke about this with the training plan. Like, you can't just wing it to your goals. You need to have a routine and a plan in place. So for me, I like to track my calories and protein. I weight train 4 times a week. I've now started implementing cardio twice a week. I have a routine in place. And this is something that my coach has helped me create, and also like my coach and I worked on together to create this routine. And it has to be individual to you, what you can do, what works within your schedule, your goals, and all of that. Like, I'm not going to do a routine in the gym, for example, that's push-pull legs, because my goals aren't to put more volume on my upper body or train my chest or any of that. My goals are to grow my lower body. So I do 3 lower body, 1 upper body. Like, your routine needs to work for you, and it also needs to work for you and your lifestyle as well. Like, if you're a nurse doing night shift most of the week, you're not going to have the time or the energy to be able to train 6 to 7 times a week. It's just not going to be realistic. So making sure you have a routine. Another thing to touch on with routines is having daily, so this is what I like to do. I like to have daily routines. I like to have a weekly routine and a monthly routine. So monthly, those might be things like goal set for the month, or maybe it'll be things like clean my car, wash my shower, random stuff like that, get my nails done. And again, I know this isn't fitness related, but it ties into the routines portion. Then I'll have my weekly sort of routine where it's like meal prep, grocery shop, plan my meals and pre-track my meals for the week, plan my week out, know what's happening each and every day. Like, it's so important to do those things so that, you know, if I go back here, I've literally got like a weekly plan, and here I'll write, okay, so on Monday I'm doing cardio and abs. Tuesday I'm going away for New Year's Eve, but I've got legs that day. Then Wednesday's New Year's Day, I've got upper. And then like Friday, it's my boyfriend's birthday, we've got brekkie, and I've also got cardio and abs. So it's like a brain dump of what's happening for the week. So I'm not going into the week winging it or going with the flow. Like, there's a time and place for going with the flow, but when it comes to staying on track with your fitness goals, going with the flow is probably not going to get you there unless you're at a stage in your journey where you can be a little bit more intuitive. But when you are starting out, you need to have a plan, you need to practice discipline, and you need to have those habits in place. You've got to earn the right to be flexible. And that is truly my belief. Like, there's a flexible way to do things. You know, you don't have to restrict yourself or starve yourself or miss out on social events or anything. And we teach our clients how to do so with also having the structure to reach their goals. But you can't go from having 100% flexibility, no discipline, and be like, oh, I'm going to be really intuitive and reach my goals that way. That's just not how it's going to work. You're just going to be stuck in that cycle. You need to practice the discipline first. You need to learn about all these things first, have a routine so that you can earn the right to be flexible later. And that doesn't mean earn the right to be flexible and be a slob. Sorry, but it means the right to be flexible in terms of being intuitive. Being intuitive doesn't mean do whatever the fuck you want. Being intuitive means listening to your body and giving your body what it needs and what it wants. But to keep it simple, have a routine within your training and your nutrition that obviously align with the goals you want to achieve. Next, look at your input goals. And like I've discussed, like train 5 times a week, hit your macros, meal prep, all of that. Now with those input goals, put them on your calendar. Schedule those things in like in an appointment. Put it in your routine, because if you just say, okay, I need to work out 5 times this week, and you're leaving it up to like whenever, like you're not going to get the outcome you want. You need to schedule it into your calendar and have some sort of calendar system, whether it's Google Calendar, a book. You need to have a plan and have a routine, because it's going to make things autopilot and make it a lot easier for you to stick to it, because you're not going to be able to come up with excuses of I don't have time or any of that. So it's going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make it less overwhelming. It's something I hear a lot as a fitness coach, is it's all very overwhelming. I say put everything in a calendar and you'll be less overwhelmed, and surely that is the case. So that's why I want to stress the importance of routines, especially coming into the new year. Start small and build up. Please don't make the mistake of like looking at all these crazy routines and being like, all right, I'm going to change all of my routines all in one go. Start small by implementing a few small habits each and every week, and keep adding on top of that, and that's going to compound over time, and you're going to get to living your dream day and your dream life before you know it. So before we close out this video, I do want to talk about staying motivated, because right now you're probably feeling all the motivation with this time of year. I am too. I'm so excited for 2025. I've done all my goal setting. I'm feeling really just freaking excited for what this year has to offer. So naturally, we're going to be feeling a lot more motivated. Dopamine levels are going to be up. You're going to be really excited to just get into this year. But I want to remind you that motivation is an emotion, and it's not going to stick around forever. This feeling that you have right now at the start of the year is going to fade away. But it's happened every other time. This year is no exception to the rule. You're going to get this really big spike of dopamine. It's going to come crashing down, but we are not going to rely on motivation this year. We're going to rely on discipline, because we can be motivated to lose weight, change our lives, change our bodies, but it's discipline and consistency to those input goals that are going to help get us there. I truly believe, like they say, discipline, it's discipline over motivation. But discipline, none of us are born with discipline. You know, I think a lot of us, some people will say, oh, I wish I was as disciplined as you. I was like, hun, I was not born this way, and neither, like, no one was born with discipline. It is simply a muscle that you train over time and get better at. I had fuck all discipline when I started my journey. I was not disciplined at all. I have moments still where I'm not disciplined, and that's okay, but like, it is a muscle that you need to train. Just like training your bicep and growing your bicep, you need to put it under pressure and load for it to grow. Same with your discipline. You're gonna have to push through hard moments and moments where you don't want to, and showing up anyway to build that discipline muscle, until you get to a point that pushing through those days where you can't be bothered get easier and easier and easier. You just have to push through those moments initially, and it is hard, but it is so worth it until you get to a point where you're living the lifestyle and it's autopilot. But motivation is not going to be the thing that will get you there, okay? It is going to be your discipline and your consistency. So hopefully with some of these tips throughout this video, that'll help set you up for a fantastic 2025, set you up with your routines, with your consistency, show you a little bit of an insight on how I'm getting back on track for the new year. You know, I've really put in an effort to do my grocery shopping, create a workout plan for not for the year, but for the first bit of the year. I have my routine set up and everything planned out, and I feel excited and set to go. I've set my goals and I feel like I really can achieve them, not because I've just set them and I feel that way, but because I have a plan of attack and I'm taking action, and I'm not relying on how I feel or motivation to show up. I've got a plan and I've got boxes I need to tick every day that I need to focus on. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video all about how to get back on track after the holidays and coming into the new year. If there are any video suggestions that you would love to see from me, I would love to hear them. Please don't be afraid to comment them down below, and if you enjoyed this video, your support would mean the absolute world if you could give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe for more content just like this. So bye everyone, love you.